ÖTILLÖ Swimrun Racing Series presented by Railers, Energized Engineering, Skrinbolaget, The Printing Company, Hästens, Crafting Sleep, and Load for Mission Critical IT.
This year, ÖTILLÖ in 2014 is our 9th edition, and we have 22 nations participating. We have 120 teams coming from all over the world. The level of the racers is going to be the highest ever, so I think we're going to have a fast, tough race with lots of languages all over the archipelago.
Following roughly 10 minutes of easy running, the ÖTILLÖ Swimrun World Championship continues with one of the toughest swims on the course. Almost 1.7 kilometres of open water swimming between the islands of Sandön and Vindalsö. The start of the ÖTILLÖ is on Sandhamn, an island in the outer Stockholm archipelago, roughly 50 kilometres from Stockholm city centre. It finishes 75 kilometres further away at Utarvördshus. Setting off at dawn, the teams have to reach the finish line before dusk and have to conquer 65 kilometres of trail running as well as 10 kilometres of open water swimming. They pass 26 islands in total. The whole distance is an equivalent of 1.5 Ironman runs in a wetsuit and 3 times the Ironman swim.
De kommer från när och fjärran allihop. Vissa är första gången de är här ute då på en skärgårdsö. Just det, i våran natur och allting här.
Så för deltagarna kommer från hela världen och även från Sverige, där många svenskar inte har varit här ute, längst ut i kustbandet i Stockholms skärgård med alla dessa tusentals öar och möta så där miljön här ute. Jag tror att de tycker det är jättehäftigt.
Allting som uppmärksammar skärgården och skärgårdens förutsättningar är bra för vårt fortsatta liv i skärgården.
Detta är nästan den roligaste dagen på hela året. Det är när ÖTILLÖ är här.
The first team to reach Vansholmen is Team Enevitt Sweden, with Jesper Svensson and Mike Thorén, who are well known for being strong swimmers. Second out of the water is the German-Finnish team Baltic Sea Action Group.
What's interesting is that there's been a huge speculation within the racer group about what the weather conditions are and how the water is going to be and the temperature and so on and so forth. And I think they put too much energy into thinking about this. They should just get their act together, believe in themselves that they've made the right decisions, and then just go for it.
We have partly cloudy, 15 degrees in the air, wind that is from northeast. So it's a perfect conditions for doing a great race. I'm almost 100% sure that we will have a new record.
The running sections are tough. Sometimes there are no trails, occasionally it's rocky, and there are slippery coastlines. These are the main challenges the athletes in the ÖTILLÖ Swimrun World Championship have to face, but also a low water temperature. It's about 12 degrees Celsius for the swim across to Skarpa and Mara, home to the race's first energy station. Still in the lead, over a minute by now, is Team Enevitt Sweden. Some of the favourite teams have an advance in the race. Among those are team number 2, Milebreaker, up at half, and team number 1 in the yellow jerseys, the reigning Swimrun World Champions, Team Head Swimming. Runklappen is a typical archipelago islet with only 200 metres of running across to the other side. But this short distance features a mix of sandy beach, woods, reeds and steep rocks. It is a tiny part of the race, yet offers a real insight into what ÖTILLÖ is all about. The best women's team so far in the race is Team Surfspot, with Annika Eriksson and Maria Erstadt. Here they are together with the leading mixed team, Team Adeptic, with Bjorn Rosenthal and Marika Wagner. More mixed teams are pushing hard and the competition is cranking up. Another swim, this time 500 metres from Runklappen to the next island, Runmara, which is one of the largest islands. Just before getting out of the water, we can see the 3 leading teams are very close together, with Jesper Svensson and Mike Thorén of Enovit Sweden in the lead. Lella Moberg and Daniel Hansen, Team Milebreaker, up at half, are close behind, as well as Bjorn England and Paul Kroshak of Team Head Swimming. They're only seconds apart. Team Be Quick Redevisning features previous ÖTILLÖ winner Antti Antonov and Marcus Hultgren. Here they are running alongside many other teams on Runmara towards the Red Bull Sprint Prize in Stiersvik, which is 4.5 kilometres further on. It is 7:30 in the morning and most ordinary people are ready to set off to work. But Bjorn and Paul of Team Head Swimming are already 1.5 hours into competing and are the new leaders of ÖTILLÖ, taking home the Red Bull Sprint Prize. About 1 minute behind them, Daniel, Lella, Jesper and Mike are arriving for some refuelling. Antti and Marcus are still in 4th place. Ulrika Eriksson and Jonas Udien of Team 2xU-Mix take home the sprint prize in the mixed class and are the new leaders in this category. But it's tight, only 1 minute separates first from third. Annika and Maria, Team Surfspot, win the ladies' sprint prize and are still leading the class. 2 minutes ahead of last year's winners, mother and daughter team Puppy TS, Charlotta Nilsson and Bibben Nordblom. Sweden's king of rap, Petter, who discovered Swimrun less than a year ago, is now taking on the competition with his teammate Joja Borsaen in Team Ad Nature Runners World. The course is now changing direction to go south, presenting a few shorter swim legs and running across 3 small islands in trailless terrain. In order to clock a good result in Swimrun, it's vital to stay constantly in motion. If you look at the best teams, they hardly ever stop moving. The teams are now reaching Munka, one of the trickiest running legs, with no trails and through demanding woods. Swimrun is a sport that's currently attracting much attention. Numerous events have emerged in Sweden over the past few years, while the original ÖTILLÖ has added 2 official qualifiers, Utah Swimrun, as well as the first race outside of Sweden, Engadin Swimrun in Switzerland. An interesting aspect to such a new sport is the steep phase of development, and many equipment details are still being tested. Shekwa demands a technical and steep drop into the water. Team number 8, Team Actic, with Rasmus Ienlund and Fredrik Haglund, are here in 5th place. It's hard to predict who will be the fastest in future swimrun events. There are constantly new team combinations, including athletes from various other endurance sports such as swimming, trail running, adventure sports and triathlon. What is new is that some teams are now dedicating their training to swimrun only. The race in the mixed class is getting tighter. The 3 top teams in the green caps are swimming very close together to the large island of Nämndö.
For this race, ÖTILLÖ 2014, the 9th edition, we had almost 650 teams wanting to participate. And over the years, we've had a lot more teams wanting to participate than we actually can accommodate. And the reason for that is we have 120 teams is because we don't want to be bigger. It's important for us that we have a good relationship with the local communities down the way, and we don't want to put too much pressure on the environment. We want to leave as small of a footprint as possible.
Erland lives and works on Nämndö. He's one of the many islanders that dedicate time and effort to ÖTILLÖ every year. With his wife, he runs the grocery shop and the restaurant in Solvik.
Ön är ju 7 kilometer lång cirka och 3 kilometer bred. På denna ön så är det ju cirka 20-25 personer som bor året runt. På sommaren så är det ju mest båtfolk som kommer. Sen kommer ju de som är här kanske 3-4 veckor om året. Men det mesta som utgör våran del här, det är ju då de som kommer med båt hit, ska äta lite, handla lite, gå ut och gå på ön lite.
The race was not just us, the organization, conceptualizing something and putting it onto the course. It's something that's actually grown out of the archipelago. And what we feel is very important is that we try to connect with the local communities on the islands that we pass so that we can use some of their resources and also that we can give them some of the energy and some of the attention that we get.
The leading teams head swimming and Marbreaker Uppethav are now approaching Erland's restaurant, which provides another much-needed energy station and doubles up as the Ad Nature Sprint Prize. After 3 hours and 20 minutes of hard racing, Bjorn England and Paul Kroshak win the second sprint prize of the day, Ad Nature in Solvik. Lella Moberry and Daniel Hansen are now only 2.5 minutes behind. The 2 teams fight hard at a very high pace. They're more than 10 minutes faster than last year. Enovit Sweden and Be Quick Redevisning, 3rd and 4th, have now slipped behind and are about 5 minutes adrift of Lella and Daniel as the team set off down on Nämndö. Ranked 3rd last year, Rasmus Rengstrand, here with his new teammate Niels Zetterstrom, clocked the 6th time in Solvik. In the mixed class, 2 teams are fighting for the lead. The Finnish-Dutch couple Jasmina Glad-Schraven and Thomas Schraven take the Ad Nature Sprint Prize with a winning margin of 1 minute from Ulrika and Jonas of Team 2xUmix. Both teams have been in the lead from time to time over the last few legs. Only 1 minute further back, leaving the energy station, are the 3rd mixed team Adeptic with Bjorn and Marika. Ka and Maria Team Surfspot are still in the lead and win the ladies sprint prize. Competition is proving to be tough in the ladies class. The gap to Bibben and Charlotta, who are second at the moment, is only 2.5 minutes.
Löpningen på Nämndö, då har jag fått höra att det är den bästa för att de springer ganska länge, de blir varma i kroppen och sen då när de kommer då till Ängsholmen, då ska de i vattnet igen för en kortare simning och sen har de lite längre fram har de den långa simningen efter Mörtö.
After more than 4 hours of racing at record-breaking pace, the teams in the lead have now made it halfway down the course and are setting off on the second longest but most exposed swim leg, the 1,400 metres between Mörtö Club and Cave in Holmen. It's called the Pig Swim. The first team to reach the steep rocks and still in a narrow lead is the Swedish-Canadian duo Bjorn England and Paul Kroshak of Team Head Swimming. But the battle against the second team Lella Moberg and Daniel Hansen of Team Marbreaker Uppethav is still going strong. A mere 2.5 minutes later, they also reach land. Antti and Marcus of Be Quick Redavisning are in third position. Team Enovit Sweden with Jesper Svensson and Mike Turian, who started off so well, have now lost time. They're another 10 minutes further back. Athletes from 22 nations compete in teams of 2 in 3 classes, men, women and mixed. The format of teams of 2 has become the standard in the new sport of swimrun. This is a safety measure where the teammate can help out quickly in case of an emergency. The swim leg from Murto Club takes about 40 to 50 minutes for the average team. The favourable weather this year makes the cold water temperature of around 12 degrees the main obstacle in this year's race. Hypothermia combined with poor refuelling of energy can lead to cramps and exhaustion. The teams struggle on across tough terrain. The British-Austrian team with Hamish Cropper and Alan Scott, together with Team 58, the Finnish-German Baltic Sea Action Group, land on Shemenda Bunsen in 7th and 8th position respectively. Shemenda Bunsen presents one of the most scenic but also most difficult running legs of the ÖTILLÖ race, trailless terrain through bushwood and on slippery rocks. There is a hard fight in the mixed class. Team 200 Adeptic has moved through the field from 3rd to out in the lead, marginally ahead of Team 2x U-Mix. Jasmina Gladschraven and Thomas Schraven, who were previous leaders, had to withdraw at the energy station on Murto Bunse due to an injury. There are also new leaders in the ladies' class here on Shemenda Bunsen, mother and daughter Bibben Nordblom and Charlotta Nilsson. Something seems to have happened to Team Surf Spot. Annika Eriksson and Maria Erstat, they've led the race all the way here for almost 6 hours, but are fading fast. Maria and Annika were forced to withdraw just before entering the water due to illness. They can only watch as Bibben and Charlotta set off on the 900-metre swim across to Shemenda. The leaders are reaching Shemenda Varv and the boat fueling station, and we see a change in the men's lead. Lella and Daniel have pulled away on the island and gain 1 minute on the others. Here it gets obvious that teamwork is key. They have to help each other. 5 hours 42 seconds is the split time here at the energy fueling station, and it looks like a new course record. Bjorn and Paul are now chasing. The development of this year's ÖTILLÖ has been vast, with only seconds separating some teams. This is fascinating considering the distance and duration of the event. The fight now continues in a decisive part of the race, the almost 22-kilometre long run across Una. Una is the largest island in the southern part of the archipelago, with a year-round population of 300 people. The island is 16 kilometers long and has 9 freshwater lakes.
Man kommer till Una via en bilfärja. Vi har en egen skola, vi har en egen brandbil och vi har en egen buss, och vi är alltid väldigt stolta att vara Onebor, och vi kämpar alla för att ön ska växa. Ännu mer barn i skolan och ännu mera barn i vårt dagis. Alla deltagarna möts ju inte, från början möts de inte egentligen av några hus överhuvudtaget. Och sen kommer de genom då öns city som består av ungefär kanske 15 hus. Och sedan så fortsätter de ner på södra ön, bland kohagar och bland ängar.
At Sheer Creeken on the island's so-called city is the energy station Marbreaker Final 15. It is essential to refuel properly here to be able to cope with the 15-kilometre push to the finish line. Daniel and Lella have increased their lead by a few minutes as they pass the church on Una. Bjorn and Paul are clocked at 3 minutes 36 seconds behind them. Milebreaker Final 15 also offers a sprint prize for the distance from Scherkriken to the finish line on Utah. The leading men have now reached the last string of islands shortly before the landing on Utah. Here there is an intense battle between the two teams in the lead, Team Milebreaker Uppethav and Team Head Swimming. The gap between them is still only about 3.5 minutes. Daniel and Lella have reached Långbalig and can see Paul and Bjorn behind them on the swim leg, but the gap has somehow grown to 5 minutes. The chase continues across the string of small islands Mellencabana and Jan Holmen, and it looks like Daniel and Lella will pull this off unless something unexpected happens before the finish line. They get out of the water after the last swim at Stonnuden on northern Utah. The 25th and last run to the finish line is the only thing remaining. Here they come, stiff-legged towards Grubin and Utah Verdshuis with a very comfortable lead. They're about to win the ÖTILLÖ Swimrun World Championship. An applauding and enthusiastic crowd welcome the team and cheer them on the final uphill run. Daniel Hansen and Lella Mowbray, Team Milebreaker Uppethav, run for the victory in ÖTILLÖ 2014, setting a new world record, 8 hours, 16 minutes and 19 seconds. They've thrashed the course record, this time by 19 minutes. They are the new Swimrun World Champions. Bjorn England and Paul Kroshak, Team Head Swimming, also beat their own course record from last year by about 10 minutes, but finish in second place in this year's ÖTILLÖ, 8 minutes behind Lella and Daniel.
It's amazing. The body hurts, but still I can feel it. I'm so happy. It was definitely a hard fight. We had a tactic to hold our horses from the beginning because we knew it was a long race. And on Uno we will unleash hell. Yeah. So we did, but yeah, it didn't happen so much, just 3-4 minutes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, bad things happened for us today, but that's the race. That's ÖTILLÖ.
Antti and Marcus of Be Quick Redevisning did not manage to keep up the record pace in the end, but crossed the finish line and are pleased with their third spot on the podium. Rasmus Enlund and Fredrik Hagland of Team Actic finish in fourth, some 45 minutes behind the winner. Rasmus Renstrand and Neil Zetterström, Team Structure Mark, conclude the top 5. Ulrika Eriksson and Jonas Udien, Team 2xU-Mix, managed to pull ahead on the run on Una in the competitive mix class, and after 9 hours and 33 minutes of competing, they crossed the finish line as world champions. Their time also represents a new record in the mix class.
I don't think we have ever had more than 10 minutes between, and we kept changing places, and everybody has their strengths. We were good on the flat running and in the water. The other teams were really good in the forest, so it was a struggle all the way.
Yeah. The competition in the ladies' class was settled just before Shemenda, but the ruling world champions Bibben Nordblom and Charlotte Nilsson, Team Puppy TS, instead strived to beat their own course record, a feat they managed. The new time for the champions is 10 hours and 7 minutes, and they are truly overwhelmed.
As mother and daughter, we are very happy to, we can call it quality time, but really, we don't talk that much. We're trying to save the energy to pushing the pace as hard as we can.
Petter, the Swedish rap star, has completed an awe-inspiring race. Despite a knee injury, he and his teammate Joja Borshayan of Team Ad Nature Runners World managed to make it all the way to Utah, clocking a time of 11 hours and 49 minutes.
Jag gnällde väldigt mycket i loppet, alltså att jag hade ont överallt. Och till slut så inser man att det finns ingen idé att prata om att man har ont, för att det är bara knas ändå liksom.
feeling when going into the water for the last swim before the finish line to Utah must be unique and difficult to describe. However, this is never easy. Most teams are struggling. Cramps, hypothermia, lack of energy, as well as sores and ailments. The last teams have been in the race for almost 14 hours and the sun is about to set.
Det är en sån tävling så det är helt sjukt liksom. Alla som slutför den här tävlingen är helt grymma.
The Swimrun 2014 season is over. The development of Swimrun has been significant. The races are better, the interest in Swimrun is higher. And 2015 will mark the 10-year anniversary of ÖTILLÖ. There will be new qualifiers, more visibility and fantastic experiences around the world. There will be new dreams, new challenges and beautiful memories.